Hey Kyle, I've just finished reading your final draft of Essay 2. I see your response to this article on drifting as a very thoughtful and insightful engagement with claims about why people engage in risky behavior, right? Um, Implied in your thesis is that community is found through this through drifting, right? So this is one claim that the article makes. Um, um, I want to say like self-improvement or just a desire to get better, right, at certain tasks, to test one's limits. This is another claim made about why folks engage in drifting. And then finally, at the base of this is, as you say, a smile, right? So happiness is found through risk taking. Okay, so I think that's a really thoughtful approach. You're reading between the lines in this article to draw our attention to those underlying motives that sort of characterize the way things are for drifters, right? So that's awesome. A couple things. This assignment, Essay 2, asked for a total of 3 sources, and you've only got the one article. So that's holding the paper back a little bit. You don't quite have all that you could have to look at this from different angles. A source that's just looking at risk taking and why humans take risks would have been an interesting sort of context or lens to bring into this discussion, or even a counter argument. Something like this could have helped in finding those required sources, okay, to help develop your thesis. So that's one thing to think about. Another thing, the organization actually is it's logical. Most paragraphs are focused. Occasionally, there is a paragraph or two where I feel like either the focus isn't as clear as it is in other paragraphs, or multiple ideas are slipping in. So, for example, one paragraph, it looks at both. Let's see if I can. I think it's an early one. You kind of wrap up towards the end, looking at it's the illegality, right? So this is illegal. It's also pretty dangerous. Um, so, but so those two things could fit together, but a general focus on recklessness, right? You say it is very reckless and dangerous, and for the most part, that's characterized by just sort of damage, bodily harm caused, property harm caused, but at the end, it's also illegal. And there's not a lot of development around that part of the risk taking. So even if you don't cause harm to others or the self, you could still get in trouble with the police, which is a cost that drifters are willing to pay. Anyway, the ideas are there, and as I said, you're engaging with them thoughtfully, but how you frame them, how you focus them, how you connect them together, there's room in this draft to strengthen the cohesion. Okay, so otherwise, this is a well-polished draft, a well-written draft. MLA is looking good. Just got to remember that header to build in, and then the way that a works cited page is formatted. You want to give it. You're correct to put it on its own page. You just want to add the title "Works Cited" to the top. And then format this as with a hanging indentation. If you just Google hanging indentation and click on Google Docs, you'll find a tutorial that shows you how to do that. Okay, Kyle, just like last time, there's an assignment coming up that asks you to respond to this feedback. If you could share 3 things. So what's one thing that I said that you found helpful? What's one thing that you have a question about or is confusing you'd like me to clarify? Or what's something you plan to work on generally as a writer going forward? And 3, would you like to revise and resubmit this paper? All right. Kyle, I look forward to your response. Hope we can chat soon.